Good morning, welcome to Keep Trekking, welcome back if there's been a four. Today we're at a place called Moor and we're going to be looking for a World War I, World War II prisoner of war camp. I'm here at Red Myers Camp Plantation. Somewhere in these woods are the remains of one of the biggest World War II camps in Britain. So let's go and have a look. Get a bit of history about it as I'm going on that I can find. But there is remains of this camp. Been a few excavations over the years, late 1990s, early 2000s, by the Sheffield Archaeology Society. So apparently there's quite a lot of remains in these woods of the old camp, so let's go and have a look, see what we can see. It hadn't actually taken me long to find the bases of the old barracks. This is one of them. It's quite long, and as you can probably see, there's rows and rows and rows of old barracks here. The camp originally was designed to hold 11,000 prisoners, but it was seriously overcrowded. I'm walking right through one of the barrack blocks at the moment. You can see all that, there's rows and rows of them. Like I say, it was one of the biggest POW camps in Britain. Here up at Moor. It was originally built for First World War. The camp was originally a training camp for the Sheffield City Battalion, but when they was shipped overseas in the First World War, it was used by different military units before it eventually became a prisoner of war camp in the First World War. You can see I've just come out of one block and the steps here, which is going to lead me into another one. The foundations. Now a lot of these foundations, when they cleared the camp in 1945, a lot of the foundation was damaged when they was clearing the area and made it into woodland. It was originally called Red Myers Camp, but then they changed it into Moor Camp. But when they was doing the excavations back in 1999, 2006, they also destroyed and damaged some of the footings as well. Like I said, it's one of the second blocks at the moment. We're going to have a good walk round and let's have a proper look, see what else we can see. But like I said, they made it into woodland after they cleared it. After the war, it also became a gypsy camp. There's been a lot more other things. It was an auxiliary hospital for the nearby Moor Hospital when they couldn't house all the patients. But I can't believe how many remains are still standing. I think they should clear this and make it into a proper tourist attraction. So you can see there's rows and rows and rows of old barracks. I'll give you some more history about the place as well as I'm going on. But I didn't even know this. We were here till a couple of weeks ago. It's quite away from where I live, but it's not too far away from where my partner works, so thought I might as well nip up and have a look. Enough looking at me, let's have a look at the remains. think this is one of the old shower blocks. As you can see, got individual shower cubicles, and then obviously drainage, bits of a pipe that runs down into the drainage there. So this is one of the old shower blocks, and one of the old chimneys obviously come away from there. So, what's it say on the bricks? Gregory Brickworks. Quite a famous brickworks. There's all sorts of different remains in here. One of the most important prisoners to ever be housed here. He was captured in World War I, and he was a commander of a U-boat, and the U-boat was captured, and he came here for 6 weeks. This guy eventually became one of the most important men in World War II in Nazi Germany. He was an admiral, and he eventually became the leader of Nazi Germany after Adolf Hitler supposedly, believe it or not, killed himself in 1945. This guy was called Karl Dönitz. Very important man, and he was here for 6 weeks, and he tried to escape by feigning mental health, but he didn't, and then he was repatriated after World War I. But apparently he came up with the idea of the U-boat tactics that he would eventually use in World War II, which caused such devastation to the Royal Navy in World War II. And he apparently derived it here at this camp at Lodge Moor. Interesting fact. Yeah, I was saying earlier about this being also being used as an auxiliary hospital. There was an outbreak of smallpox in 1925, and this was the place that they housed the smallpox victims until 1935, before it became a prisoner of war camp. From the nearby Lodge Moor Hospital, which no longer stands. I think you've just got a few buildings, but that's now gone. So, see what else I can find. Quite interesting this. Like I said, I didn't even know this place was here until a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people think, gee, how did you not know that? Well, I didn't. Simple. But there's rows and rows and rows of blocks. I'm going to put a picture on screen what the camp looked like from the aerial view now. So you can get an idea of the size of the camp, rather than just walking through a woodland full of trees and a few ruins and remains. It seemed very interesting. The camp was originally opened to house Italian POWs, which apparently they had a good friendly rapport with the locals, and used to even go and work on the farms and things locally. But eventually it was also German POWs that came here during World War II. I'm just walking across another barrack. They're quite long. Apparently they should have held between 60 inmates per barrack room, but the International Red Cross said that it was seriously overcrowded and you could get up to 200 people within one barracks. That's seriously overcrowding. You can imagine disease was quite rife as well in these. Just got another set of rolls. Obviously this section's not being excavated like the beginning bit, but yeah, they deemed it unlivable and unsatisfactory conditions for the prisoners. They should have gone to Poland, shouldn't they, and seen the Nazi camps. They probably thought this was heaven. And their conditions. At least we treat our prisoners quite well. Although this place was, they said the food was substantial, overcrowding, and there was a murder here as well by another set of German POWs on one of their own. I'll come to that shortly. But this is what I talk about. I've said it in previous videos about eradicating history. It's planted woodland. If you didn't see these remains, I'm standing on one of the barracks, you'd never know this was a POW camp unless you knew. It's sad really. Maybe it's a part of history that they choose to forget. Who knows? Yeah, getting on to the murder. It was a German POW with the name of Gerhard Reddich, who was beaten to death by fellow prisoners. No idea why, doesn't give me a description of, but he later died in hospital, I presume Lodge Moor, of his injuries. The two men that did it was arrested. Makes you laugh, doesn't it, when it says they're arrested. They're already in camp, but was tried for murder and later executed. Don't know if it was here they executed them, sorry, which I should imagine it will have been, or somewhere else. But yeah, that murder happened on the 24th of March 1945, so the very end of the war really. They survived a little bit longer. He'd have been repatriated back to Germany and he'd have been okay more than likely. Unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries. There's quite a little bit more history about the place. I mean, I bet it was a very bleak place up here, to be fair. It's very high up and the conditions can get terrible, especially in winter. It's a bit dreary today, but it was cold and horrible. And there was apparently the prisoners would have to stand for roll call for several hours, getting counted and recounted and recounted in horrible conditions. Wow. Sobering thought really. Price of war, eh? Wow, it's very windy. I'm walking where the perimeter fence would have been. Across this line here, where it's mounded up. I don't know if you can see that. But this is the very, very back of the camp, or the front of the camp. Not sure which way. Probably the back of the camp. The camp opened, like I say, in 1914. for the First World War. But in 1935 it was made proper for a auxiliary camp. Very windy, I hope you can hear me. An auxiliary camp for World War II closed at the very end of 1945 when the prisoners was repatriated back to the countries, mainly Italy and Germany. Like I say, after that it became an hospital, auxiliary hospital for the nearby Lodge Moor, for the overflow, for the smallpox and everything. You know, not smallpox, but things like that. Some of the prisoners escaped and was caught 24 hours later without resistance in Rotherham, believe it or not. Got to Rotherham, decided we've had enough. Come back here. I think that was the 22nd of December in the 1940s. I'm not sure what year it was. Might have even been 43. Then after that they cleared an area for the gypsy travellers, and then it became Red Myers Camp Plantation, which as you can see today. I'm just walking, like I said, at the perimeter fence, or would have been. Should be in this line here. I'm walking up to the far end of the camp now, to see if there's anything else over that direction. But I can't see anything in the woods, but there's nothing being excavated on this side. But if I come across something, I shall let you know. But it's bleak today, so what it were like in snow and really bad weather. It's not worth thinking about. Wow, I don't know what this used to be, unless it used to be another toilet block. You see the old metal supports, part of the roof, probably a chimney that. Who's graffitied it. There's ruins all over here, you can see concrete. So this must have been quite, I wonder if it was part of the old barracks for the guards maybe. Quite thick concrete for the roof. As you can see, the metal supports, the iron supports. But all over here, as you can see, I don't know if you can see on camera, loads of concrete. So this must have been a massive structure, this part. Just destroyed, probably blown up. Looks like I'm actually standing inside, because there's a wall here in the brambles. You can see that. That's actually a wall. Let me get a bit closer for you. That's actually a wall that runs all the way over there, that direction, and then flips back round about there. But all this is just concrete. All these mounds you can see, just broken concrete. All this smashed up concrete and brick. See the pitch that they used on the roof, still intact. Look at the thickness of that roof. Quite interesting. Like I said, this must have been quite a big structure, this. Bits of the old pipe system. They were here amongst all this rubble. This rubble just goes on forever. It's concrete, concrete, concrete everywhere. Looks like we've had a few campers on this flat bit of land. A few burnt logs, a bit of an old fire pit. I think this is one of the old water holding tanks, if I'm not mistaken. It's still a bit all boggy in there like. It's another nice structure to find in these woods. And then there's a lot more concrete structure over there. So this must have been quite a big part of the camp, possibly for the guards area. I bet there's a very lot more stuff to see in these woods under this undergrowth. If it was all clear, I bet it's one massive, massive site. Just going to follow this wee path and see where it takes me. See what else I can see. Don't think that's 1945, that slate tile. Oh, ceramic. There's a nice path I can follow, going back through the woods and see where it leads me. It's a shame they had to destroy it, really. History didn't really mean a great deal back then, I suppose. But that's just one massive concrete structure. Or would have been. Don't know if there was anything over that direction, but that's a brand new housing estate. And there's a lot of modern junk that they've chucked down. Here, it's like they just use it as a dumping ground. You see that over there. But this will be the very, very back, the other side of the camp, I should have thought. Unless it did used to travel right up to the far wall where the houses are now the road to come in. Not seen anything else over this side. So maybe I am at the far end of the camp. But it's very interesting. I'm glad I came. I'm glad I came today, this morning. I didn't know it were here, and it's interesting to see something like this within 10 miles of where I live, really. 10-12 mile. We're here at Lodge Moor. I think it originally called Red Myers Camp. Like I say, it was a training camp originally, open for the Sheffield City Battalion. And then obviously World War I it was converted, and I think it still kept its name as Red Myers Camp, First World War, but changed to Lodge Moor POW camp within the Second World War. But it's very interesting. Quite glad I came, to be honest. Something else I've just I spied within the woods. Don't know what this was. Look at the thickness of that roof. Good old Gregory's bricks. There's one or two other structures here as well. I don't know if that was another barracks. Maybe. And get a tree. Get a moss. Our Mother Nature's clearly claiming the place. I'm sure if this is another one of those water holding tanks. Not so sure. I don't think they had swimming pools here, would they? Like bathing pools, maybe, I don't know. Anybody knows? Drop us a comment, please. That's pretty thick walls. Can't beat a good sketchy path. Back of another barracks. So back into the rows of the barracks again. Hello. Well, we just had a 5 minute conversation with a fella that don't live far from here, and he was telling me about 18 months ago the Sheffield University Archaeological Society did a dig up here and asked for volunteers. I really wish I'd have known that. And where it's all clear at the beginning that I showed you when I very first started is where they excavated. So if you want to find any information about the place and what they found, it's on their website apparently, the Sheffield Archaeology, University of Sheffield. So that's very interesting. I might have a look at that later. They're a lovely fella with 2 dogs. Brilliant. So now I'm back where the barracks was. I'm stood in the middle of one of the barracks, and you can see there's another one, and it keeps going. And then there's another one just over here, and then it continues right back to where I started. So there are rows and rows and rows. Like I say, if you look at that photo, I'll put it back on screen for you now, so you can have a look. But I've come up to where the perimeter wall was, the back of the back of the camp, here at Lodge Moor. So this is very interesting. I'm going to have a look at that University of Sheffield and find some more information out maybe when I get 2 minutes. You can look at it yourself, it'll be on their website. This is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Apparently the prisoners wasn't treated very well here, especially the German ones. The Italians was treated a bit better, they was allowed out. As you can see, I'm coming on to another one now. I don't know if you can see the platform, there's all flat. Another barracks. But they was allowed out and mixed with the farms. Apparently around here where the farm, a lot of the farms have got old photographs of the prisoners working on their farms and things just to keep going. But the Germans weren't treated very well, as you can understand, especially getting towards the end of the war, when people were discovering what was happening with Nazi Germany and the notorious camps in Poland and surrounding places. They were treated quite badly. Food was at a ration, as you can imagine. Like I said, the International Red Cross wasn't happy with the place, how it was ran. It was wartime. What do people expect? And that's the edge of another one there, look. It's absolutely fascinating. Just a shame it's all in ruins and there's not a lot left. This place will hold so many secrets. There'll be so much more to discover that's been lost to time. Wow. Amazing. Just gotta love Yorkshire people. This woman wasn't actually from Yorkshire, but she lived around here for a long time. And when I said that new housing estate that they built, that is where they moved and excavated a lot of places and made it a travellers site. So that's actually a travellers camp. Earlier, where I showed you. I'm just walking on the barracks at the moment. This is very sludgy, as you can imagine. It's been raining this morning. But yeah, and that's where I saw the shower block earlier. So I'm actually coming up to the part where they excavated 18 months ago. It's a shame they're not going to do anything else. They may be. You can see where it's flat, that's another barracks, and then there's some steps just up there. I don't know if you can see them. Up onto another one. This is just fascinating. See where they've chopped a lot of trees down to excavate it. And then you can see more extensively where the barracks was. There, look, there, and on and on and on and on. Don't know if this back wall is original. I should imagine it will be. And then it'll have had, looks like they've got something on the top of it which probably would have, I don't know where the guardhouses used to be. Should imagine one would have been round here somewhere. But they would have more likely been made in wood. A bit like at Auschwitz. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Auschwitz. I haven't, it's on my wish list. If you don't know anything about Auschwitz concentration camp, I seriously suggest you look it up. I'm not getting into detail on that one. But that would have been, these would have been made in wood, so these would have gone a long time since. That back wall, I'm going to walk up to it in a second. Yes, it's got, I think it's got some sort of posts on the top where the barbed wire would have been. And the guardhouse, I should imagine, would have been somewhere around here. Maybe in this area, for this side of the camp. Must have had it, they would have had them all over. The guard towers. Let's go and look at this back wall and see if there's any remnants of what it would have been like. It's quite high, to be fair. Okay, so you can see where the original farmers' walls would have been. Should be up to that level. Then obviously they put concrete and extended it. And then you can see at the top there was a metal post. Now there's no more metal posts on here I can see. But that's, you see the height of that. It's as if you want to get out, you could escape through over that, but you've got these posts on top or where the cross would have been, where they had the wire. But yeah, that's definitely part of the old wall of the camp. So this would have been the very back of the camp. Somewhere around here would have been the guard station. I don't know what's happened there. Probably corroded in time. But yeah, that would have been the original farmer's wall when it would have been a farm area. And then concrete, and then later brick, and then a topping. So that's quite high. I'm only a dwarf, I'd have never scaled that, but I suppose if you want to get out desperately enough, you would have done. But yeah, I should imagine the guard tower would have been somewhere around here for this edge of the camp. I don't know where the entrance to the camp would have been. Maybe further up there would have been an entrance. I'll have to have a look on the map. So as I leave the area of the camp, I'll end this video here. So I hope you've liked this little history of Lodge Moor Prisoner War Camp. So I'm going to say J Art, thank you very much for watching. Keep trekking. Till next time, trek on. Ta-da! It's a very sobering thought though, before I go. I think up here in Lodge Moor, I mean, it's very high up and very windy today. So much history still to be discovered. I'll leave you with that thought. See you again. Ta-da.